Well, welcome to today's Q&A. You guys, thank you so much for joining me today. It is the 5th of March. We are live here at noon. So we're going to talk about some of the available positions that we have here at Decker Truck Line. Truck driving positions. We started to yesterday on our Facebook Live, but we ran out of time answering questions on specifics. So as always, this is a Q&A, which means it's an opportunity for you to ask your question and get it answered. So if you have questions, please put it in the chat. Be as specific as possible. Honestly, if you could give me your zip code, if you can give me your years of experience, whether or not you're looking for a flatbed or refrigerated, that will help me to determine what information to provide you. And then, like I said, just be more specific with it. Now, first, you made it. So yeah, the more information you can provide me, the more details I can give you about the position without saying, well, it depends, which is probably one of the most annoying phrases that we hear when it comes to, not just getting a position, but just getting an answer, right? So to avoid that comment, please provide me all the details and then I can give you specifics. All right, so the all it depends type phrase that I was talking about is really takes into account where you live and how much experience you have. So those are going to be the most determining factor, I should say, because in some areas I don't have flatbed, or in other areas I don't have refrigerated. We are refrigerated and flatbed, or at least that's what we currently have available, our refrigerated and flatbed divisions. But again, all depending on where you live. So if you live in areas of the Northeast, that's not currently a good hiring area for us. And I don't even know why I said not currently, because it hasn't been. We just don't do a whole lot up there. Now, every once in a while we'll have an ice cream load or a refrigerated load into like southwestern New York, but most of it is going to be south of there, And then when it comes to flatbed, if you are looking for something out west, we aren't going to be a good fit for you for flatbed out west. Now, refrigerated, totally different story. We definitely run a lot of refrigerated out west. Our flatbed, for the most part, runs east of Denver. So sometimes there's loads into the Denver area, but for the most part, it's going to run east of there. And then when it comes to the refrigerated, I'm bouncing around, you guys, so until you ask questions, I'm going to bounce around. But if you are looking for refrigerated and you're looking for over the road, we're hiring in areas of the West and the Midwest, and then out towards, even Atlanta, Georgia. Not currently in the Carolinas, but yeah, some in the Carolinas as well. So it all depends on where you live, on what availability we have, and how often we can get you home. And I know that's a question that will determine whether or not it's a good fit for you, for a lot of you at least, is whether or not we can accommodate the home time that you're looking for. In most cases, our refrigerated division is, and there are most definitely exceptions, but in most cases, we can get you home every 11 days. Now, if you live in areas of the Midwest, we could probably get you home on a weekly basis. Every 5 days, every 7 days, something like that. If you're in the flatbed division, then we can get you home, in most cases, either every weekend or every other weekend in the flatbed division. Again, depending on where you live. See that phrase? That's so annoying. There it is. The reason we do that is because if we have too many professional drivers in one area, then we can't, based off of our freight, we can't get you home, right? Because you don't want to deadhead 400 miles to get home. We want to make sure that the deadhead is minimal and that the home time is reasonable, that we can get you there on a regular basis, on a consistent basis, not every, 6 months maybe. We don't want that. We want to make sure that when we hire somebody for a position, that we can uphold our promises, right? Whether it be home time or pay or miles or benefits or equipment, All of the above. We want to make sure we can uphold it. And if we hire too many from one area, then the whole thing gets off balance, and that's rough. So that's why we do have a specific hiring area. So let's talk about it. We have a refrigerated division that runs Iowa, Illinois, Indiana. This is the running lane, by the way. Iowa, Illinois, Indiana, parts of Nebraska, parts of Kansas, and a small portion of Ohio. So we have those areas that can get you home on a weekly basis. Actually, this is going to get you home every 5 days. So if I can give you a visual here. Do I have an option to do that? Let's do it. Shall we? Is this it? Okay. I have part of this one. So this is what you're looking at is all of my hiring area for the refrigerated division. But if you look, you've got Iowa and then Omaha, Nebraska, Lincoln, Nebraska. That's about as far to the west that we can get you home on every 5 days. And then even down into the Kansas City, Topeka area, we can get you home every 5 days. All of Iowa, Chicago, 50-mile radius of Chicago up into Milwaukee, Fort Wayne, Indiana, good spot for us. Toledo, Ohio. Those are areas that we can get you home every 5 days for 2 days of home time. So 5 days out, 2 days home. This is our refrigerated division, and your rate of pay is going to be based off of your experience level. So if you have, let's get an example. If you're brand new to the industry, yes, we can train in our refrigerated division. Now, ideally, we are looking for someone who is experienced, because then you don't have to go out with a trainer, and then you can get to going a little bit faster for yourself. However, we do train. So if you are a recent graduate of an approved school, then we'll have you go out with a trainer for 2 to 3 weeks. We pay you once you've completed orientation, or we pay you the $500 for completing the 1 week orientation. And then we're having a little bit of issues here with it, so I apologize. Bear with me as it catches up. I'm probably sharing too much stuff on the screen, so we're just going to give it a minute. But in the meantime, yeah, with the refrigerated division, we can get you home every 5 days for 2 days. And if you are with the refrigerated division, I can't guarantee that you're going to be home on the weekend. That's the hardest part. I can't guarantee that you'll be home on the weekend. That's because refrigerated freight hauls all week long. Flatbed is different. Flatbed is usually delivering either Friday night or Saturday morning, and then you're usually back out for an early Monday morning delivery, whether you're leaving Sunday night or Monday morning. Totally depends on the location that you're running out of. Let's take a look at this, you guys. Hopefully you can still hear me well. It's just the video I'm hoping that is crummy. So, okay. In the flatbed, so if you are looking to get home on the weekends, we do have flatbed, especially around the Midwest, that can get you home on the weekends. Thanks, Katie. Let's go back to that refrigerated. So that's what I was going to say. The refrigerated division, and that's why you can hear me fine. Okay. If you're listening and not watching the video, then you're probably fine, it sounds like. Okay, so with the refrigerated division, like I said, if you are brand new to the industry, yes, we can train you. So no worries there. And with the starting rate of pay for someone, again, brand new, just completed the week-long orientation. And by the way, week-long is only for an inexperienced driver. Our experienced drivers, it's a 3-day orientation. But if you're brand new to the industry, You completed your week-long orientation. We pay you $500 for completing that. Then you'll be out with a trainer for 2 to 3 weeks. 2 to 3 weeks with a trainer. Once you've completed the training, then you'll run solo. Your rate of pay per mile will start you at 52 cents a mile. Again, that's for somebody who's brand new to the industry. So don't expect someone with 3, 4, 10, or even like years, or even 6 months of experience to be starting at 60 or at 52 cents a mile. The 52 is for brand new students. Now, also for brand new students, you'll get an increase every 90 days that first year. But as a experienced driver, it's on your 90-day anniversary and then annually. Okay. All right. So we're going to talk about more so experienced drivers because that's what we see more here at Decker, are experienced drivers. Speaking of experienced drivers, you guys, we have so many individuals we are recognizing for the Million Mile Awards coming up here on the 19th. So if you are not already planning to join us for our live event on the 19th of March, I think you need to do that. It'll be a big to-do for all of those who are celebrating not only million miles, but million mile, 2 million mile, 3 million mile, 4 million mile. Yeah, pretty big deals. You know, just saying, pretty big deal. But we not only are we celebrating that, but we're also celebrating our driver of the years for each of the divisions. And then we'll celebrate and announce the grand champion. I get super jacked for this because obviously I don't know until they'll tell you know. So it'll be exciting to see. Triple J says number 2. Setting up, we're just gonna mark it. Technically, Katie was there first. All right. So yeah, we'll be doing that on the 19th. That'll be a lot of fun. I believe it'll be starting in the evening. So we'll give more details as we've got that. Yeah, Katie says we have some big announcements coming up. Yeah. We have had quite a few awards that we have won here as the team here at Decker Truckline. And when I say team, I mean our professional drivers, both refrigerated and flatbed, and I mean, not just refrigerated and flatbed, but we also have our dry van, which is full, so I don't talk about that a whole lot. But and then we also have our hopper, our locals and stuff like that. But then we also have all of our in-house team as well, from safety and roadside assistance and maintenance to our recruiting department and our operations. So key. All of the above. It's Justin though. Hey Justin. So we've got all of that. And if you have questions, feel free to let us know. But we have all of those awards and recognitions that we will be announcing here at our Decker Awards ceremony on the 19th. It'll be a blast. So Katie says we'll announce our Million Mile Awards and our Driver of the Years very soon. So anxious. I really wanted to announce them now. But I would have to know them before. So that's why she doesn't let me know ahead of time, because she knows I'd probably say something. It is what it is. You know, truth speaks. All right. Okay. Refrigerated. So if you have experience as a refrigerated driver, instead of starting at 52 cents a mile, you'd actually start, let's say you have 6 months of experience. That's our minimum requirement to start as a refrigerated driver here at Decker. And with 6 months of experience, you'd start at 56 cents a mile. 10 cents of that's per diem, so you're not taxed on 10 cents a mile. And you do still get a raise at 90 days. You'll also get a raise annually. So right now our cap is at 70 cents a mile. So you'll see 70 is what our current max is. Now that said, if you are someone who is currently at 70, you can still make more than that through our bonuses, because we have 2 monthly bonuses. We have our scorecard and our safety bonus. That will get you an extra 5 cents a mile right there. Plus, if you really want to break it down, We have our clean inspection bonus, and we have our driver of the year bonus that's going to be announced here shortly. We have our grand champion. We have referral bonuses. We have take pride in your truck bonuses. I mean, there's things throughout the year that we do recognize and that you've got perks on as well. As for the referral bonus, that has gone up. So it went from $1,500 to $2,000 per driver who's hired on. So if you refer somebody and who is hired on, you'll get an extra $2,000. So pretty exciting. Pretty exciting news. Had to change my name because it started a YouTube channel. because you started one? Really? All right, I look forward. I would like the link. Katie says lots of bonus opportunities. And she's not kidding either. She works quite a bit with getting all of those in line. And when it comes to making sure everybody's name is on the list for who earned the safety bonuses and who earned the scorecard bonuses, Katie is on it. She is the one making sure everybody's out there and giving credit where credit is due. So shout out to her. When she runs out of room because there's too many names, there's never too many, right? You want to see 100% on those. But it's a challenge. All right, so where were we? Back to the refrigerated division. 10 cents of that's per diem, and again, a raise at 90 days and a raise annually. So you'll be seeing that. We do currently have a sign-on bonus for our experienced drivers, which means we are counting anybody who has 6 months or more, you're considered an experienced driver. So 6 months or more, you would get a sign-on bonus. Currently, it's at $2,000. You'll get $500 after completing orientation. You'll get $500 at 60, 90, and 180 days. That's how that works. Hey, Chuck, how are you? So that's the breakdown of the sign-on bonus, but it's staggered out there. And by then, you'll have your pay raise as well. So that'll be included on that paycheck also. And yes, they're pretty much, they're set up so once you hit that mark, the 90 days, that pay increase will kick in. So if you guys have questions on that, you can speak to your driver manager about it. Of course, we've got Justin and Jason and Gerard to help answer a lot of those questions as our driver services. Hey, Katie, it now says that I have excellent connection. So I went from crummy connection to excellent. Yeah, I don't know. By doing nothing. There we go. Good. Our flatbed division, we have a couple of opportunities in our flatbed division as well. We have the home weekly. I did mention that with flatbed, you're likely to come home on a Friday night or a Saturday morning and then back out for usually a Monday morning delivery, whether it be Sunday night or Monday morning for coming out of the house. Your paperwork has to be in by Tuesday night to get paid by Friday, whether that's refrigerated or flatbed. Keep in mind that because refrigerated doesn't always go home for the weekends, because that's just how freight is, that you will need to, especially if you're going to be out longer than the home weekly, you're going to need to straddle that cutoff, that payout, what the pay cutoff is. So if it's a Tuesday night, which it is, if Tuesday night you're coming home on a Tuesday, then you can be home Tuesday, Wednesday. If you're going to be staying out, say 2 to 3 weeks at a time, you're going to want to split that so that you meet the minimum requirement. Our minimum requirement is there in order to do the minimum pay. We have your rate of pay per mile, which, recognizing that our rate of pay per mile is one of the top out there here within the industry. And then you're looking at your minimum pay. So this is your safety net. This is your minimum pay. And this is your rate of pay per mile. So your miles that you run, if they exceed that minimum pay, which they most likely will, if they exceed the minimum pay and you've met all of your requirements, you're going to get the better of the two. Now, if you didn't get the miles, or if you, for some reason, your rate of pay didn't exceed this minimum pay, so if it was down here, but you were available for dispatch 5 days out of the week, you didn't have any load refusals, you didn't have any driver service failures, you didn't have any late loads, no CSA violations, no preventable accidents for the week, and you got your paperwork in on time, even if you didn't meet your rate of pay per mile and the miles to exceed that minimum pay, you're still going to get at least that minimum pay. Like my visuals? Yeah, I probably should have a chart. Something that's a little better. Yes. Good. Chuck says, just curious, were you able to find those numbers for last week? I wasn't. I didn't get those for the lease purchase. For who all, that's the one you were talking about, right? The success from who went to lease purchase. What kind of time frame do you want, though? Do you just want the last year? Because that's really what I'm going to have to hone in on, is the time frame that you want that success percentage from. Justin says, so no experienced drivers that can start at 50. New experienced drivers that can start at 56 cents a mile. Yes, experienced drivers start at 56 cents a mile. If you have 6 months of experience. But let's say maybe you've got 15 years of experience. Then you're starting at 65 cents a mile in the refrigerated division. Again, 10 cents of that's per diem. So 56 cents a mile is for an experienced driver, but an experienced driver with minimal experience, so 6 months. That rate of pay per mile goes up with the years of experience that you have. Yep. How much is the bonus for a clean inspection? The clean inspection, you get gifts. You get gift cards if you get a level 4, right? Level 4. At a level 3, you get a gift from the maintenance department. So in the past, I know that we've had some cleaners and just we've had some gifts. They'll change out if you've already had one. So you'll talk to the shop about that one. But you'll receive a gift in a level 3. Level 1, you need to take care of it. Level 2, you need to take care of it before continuing. Level 3, you'll get a gift. Level 4 is like, good deal. You get a gift card, plus you also get your name entered in for a drawing. A $500 drawing. So, yeah. Now, that's for the Take Pride in Your Ride clean inspection. When it comes to having a clean inspection out on the road, it's a $50 bonus for each of the clean inspections out on the road. So if you get pulled in, that's what it is. And we like those, by the way. Don't really matter. I was just curious at the numbers. Yeah, I am too. I just need to kind of have an idea of how I can have them. If we can get that, we can do 1 year and maybe 3 years. But I think if we go beyond that, then that's going to, I don't think those numbers will be relevant, is what I'm getting at. Even though the LP program is the same, the industry isn't, right? Like the freight is not the same anymore. I mean the freight outlook isn't the same as it was 3 years ago. So that's why I say it'd be skewed. But I'll reach out to him and find out. Cool? All right. I think that's probably the best way to do it. So what Chuck was asking is, what percentage of lease purchase drivers or people who have gone into the lease purchase program have successfully transitioned and purchased the truck? But again, there are a lot of people who don't go and purchase the truck at the end. Instead, they trade the truck in and get a newer model. You can do that without getting in trouble with the trucks. You can't with wives. Without getting in trouble, at least, right? That was awful. Who said that? Okay. Yeah. Also, hey, Dean, how are you? 49, better than yesterday. Dean was freezing yesterday. He went from 80 degrees. You were in Cedar Rapids the day before on Sunday, right? And then you went to like 45 yesterday with like bone chilling wind. Now it's at 49. It's chilly here. A lot of ice on windshields this morning. Never fun. Okay, so refrigerated. Yes, every 5 days in some locations. We can get you home every 7 days. In others, when you're out 7 days at a time, you're looking at 2 days home time. If you're staying out for 11 days at a time, then you're looking at 3 days home time. If you're staying out 2 to 3 weeks at a time, you're looking at 4 or 5 days home time. Yeah. 4 is probably the solid number. I know Joshua was talking about being home every 4.5 days. I think he was not home every 4.5, but home for 4.5 days when he comes home. But I know that 4 days is a good balance of our minimum pay requirements. Because again, remember how I talked about how you straddle that home time? 2 days on each side of that pay period. That way, you're meeting all 6 of the requirements for the minimum pay. And again, those minimum requirements are no CSA violations, no preventable accidents, no load refusals, no driver service failures, getting your paperwork in on time, which is Tuesday night, and of course the last one is being available for dispatch 5 days out of the week. And that's the one where straddling your home time on that cutoff date is really the best one for you. Yeah. Yep. Yes, Chuck, give us a call if you actually would. If you call the recruiting department, the number that's coming across the screen, 877-433-2537. But if you call the recruiting department, they can get you in touch with some who are willing to take the time to answer some questions. Yes, absolutely. Excellent. All right. Home, let's see, we've got 2 to 3 weeks out, over the road. Now, if you are running in our home weekly for refrigerated, the one that I said is Iowa, Illinois, Indiana, Ohio. And it's not the whole state, by the way. It's north of 80 in those areas. Pretty much all of Iowa, but then north of 80 in Illinois and Indiana and Ohio. But if you are in Kansas City, of course, is included in that, Omaha. If you are in that area, then we can get you home every 5 days for 2 days. That is more regional than a position that's out 2 to 3 weeks at a time that can pretty much run coast to coast. If you're in the more regional position, you're not going to be going out west to Missoula, Montana. We have a terminal in Missoula, by the way. You're not going to be going out west to Missoula, Montana, or Seattle, Washington, or Portland, Oregon. All areas that we do hire out of currently in our Western Division. So, again, Portland, Oregon, Hermiston, Seattle, Washington, Tacoma, Spokane, Missoula, Montana. We have Salt Lake City, Reno, and Las Vegas, Nevada that we're currently hiring out of. And then, of course, Denver, Cheyenne, Wyoming. We hire out of those locations as well for our over-the-road refrigerated. So 2 to 3 weeks out at a time for that one. And home for 4 days, 3-4 days. Day and a half for every 7 days you're out. Now for the over-the-road flatbed division, you know how I talked about home time for flatbed is usually on the weekends because that's just how the freight runs. When we're shipping and receiving, picking up and delivering, that's the routine, right? Usually coming home on a Friday night or Saturday morning. Same with the over-the-road flatbed as with the more regional flatbed. Friday, Saturday, and then back out either Sunday or Monday. If you live in areas of Texas, more specifically Dallas or Houston areas, we do have our over-the-road flatbed division currently available. We don't have a weekly one currently available there, but we do have home every other weekend. Sometimes we'll have home weekly options out of there. We do look in-house before we advertise or let anybody know about the home weekly positions out of that area. Speaking of, We have freight in Arkansas. So we are currently hiring out of Arkansas, Louisiana, Mississippi, the Carolinas, Texas, I already mentioned, Georgia, if I haven't already mentioned, Georgia and Alabama. All areas that we hire for our over-the-road flatbed, which is currently what we have, our over-the-road flatbed there. Kentucky is another good area for us. Tennessee, fantastic area for us is in Tennessee there. And then we have our more regional flatbed, which in one area we hire home weekly and a minimum pay of $14.50 a week. Now that's a great one for someone who lives in the Chicago area, because if you live in another area, it's probably not available. But yeah, in the Chicago area, we do have the home weekly and a minimum of $14.50 a week. In that $14.50, that's a specific area, you guys, that we hire out of. It's about a 50-mile radius of Chicago. We will actually a little bit further than that, because anywhere from Iowa City, Iowa to St. Louis, Missouri, if you're basically following my little outline here, over to Columbus, Ohio, north to Toledo, Ohio, on over to Chicago and north to Milwaukee, back over into the Mason City, Iowa area, Fort Dodge, Iowa, closing it up in Iowa City. That is the outline of our hiring area for our Midwest flatbed, $14.50 Midwest flatbed position. That'll get you home weekly. That'll get you the minimum pay of $14.50 a week. But again, your rate of pay per mile and the miles that you run, if they exceed that in the minimum pay, you'll get the better of the two. But I do want to make sure that you're aware that's a great opportunity for somebody who is in that location. You are not likely to make a lot more than that $14.50. Where our other divisions, where we have a minimum pay of $1,000, you are likely to make more than that. And again, it all depends on the miles that you run and your rate of pay. So it's going to be easier for somebody who's closer to the top of our rate of pay, someone with more experience, to make beyond the $14, $1,500 a week than it is for somebody who's just coming into the industry or has minimal experience, 6 months, a year, 2 years, coming in and running the same number of miles. You're not going to get the same, you're not going to make the same, because you'll get the better of the two, which are probably the mileage, but again, it all depends on the miles that you're running and how much experience you have is on what you'll be making for that. So yes. What time does recruiting close? We have people there 4 or 5. I think we have somebody who stays till 5:30 as well, but 5 to be safe. Yep. And if you put your number out there, we can pass it on to recruiting too if you'd like. You might not want to put it out there either. I wouldn't blame you. Who knows what you get for calls. But yeah, feel free to give us a holler then. So again, with the flatbed division, minimum pay requirements, same as our minimum pay for the refrigerated division. Be available for dispatch at least 5 days out of the week. The only thing different I should mention is those 5 days that you have to be available do need to be Monday through Friday. Because again, like I mentioned before, we can get you home on the weekends for flatbed, but we can't for refrigerated because that's the way that the freight runs. And for flatbed, Monday through Friday are the 5 days that you have to be available for dispatch in order to qualify for the minimum pay. So that's number one. Number two, no driver service failures, so no late loads, no CSA points or violations, no preventable accidents, get your paperwork in on time, and what am I missing? No load refusals. Those are the 6 requirements. Easy peasy. Excellent. All right. So that gives you an idea of some of the available positions that we have here at Decker. But if you want specifics to your area, that's when you get a hold of the recruiting department. And like I was telling Chuck, the number is 877-433-2537. So now you know whether or not we have the position that you want. but you're wondering, well, do I qualify? All right, easy enough. Let's answer that question. If you have a minimum of 6 months of experience, then you would qualify for a refrigerated and Midwest flatbed division. You would have to have a minimum of 6 months of flatbed specific experience in order to qualify for our over-the-road flatbed division. So the requirement for the over-the-road flatbed division does need to be flatbed experience specifically. The other exception to that, I should say, is if you have a year of tractor trailer experience and you live in an area that we hire for our over-the-road flatbed and that's what you want, we can train you in flatbed. But you have to have that year of tractor trailer experience first. And it does need to be recent. That's the other thing. And then we also have, okay, so that's the first requirement. Got to be 21 years or older. No major moving violations within the last 3 years. So if you have a following too close, that's not 3 years old. Or if you have a 15 over ticket that's not 3 years old, or erratic lane change, careless, reckless, anything like that, those are major moving violations, and we cannot work with those at all within the last 3 years. So yes, we have earned that elite fleet status for a reason, and our professional drivers are definitely held at a higher standard there, and you'll notice that. But yeah, no major moving violation within the last 3 years. We can work with minor tickets in the last 3 years, no more than 2 within 36 months though. So if you have 3 tickets within the last 3 years, even if they are minor violations, what would be considered minor violations, we still wouldn't be able to work with it. So no more than 2. And same with accidents or incidents, I should say. No major no major DOT recordable accidents within the last 3 years. That's preventable, of course. If it's non-preventable, someone hit you, it ended up being a recordable accident, but you're not responsible for it, that's a different story, right? But yeah, no non-preventable accidents. If it's DOT recordable and preventable, has to be 3 years old. Otherwise, if it's maybe a turning incident, maybe you broke a mirror while turning, or a backing incident or something like that, that would have to be at least, well, we can work with that as long as there isn't a DOT recordable accident attached to that. But yeah, we can work with those minor incidents within the last 3 years. No more than 2. So if you have 3 or 4 of those, we'd have to wait till they fell off. When I say fall off, I mean the dates are outside of the 3-year period. And then we have our requirement for, what else? We have no cell phone. Cell phone, by the way, that is a major moving violation. So if you have a cell phone violation, that's a major violation. If you've had too many jobs within the last three years, that is also going to be a disqualification. We're here at Decker, we definitely invest in growing our professional drivers, like helping you to grow and investing in who we're putting our time into. We're looking for somebody who is looking to build their experience and their career within the trucking industry, similar to how we represent here at Decker. So if you have a number of jobs, if you have 6 or 7 jobs in the last 3 years, you probably wouldn't be a good fit for us, because we're looking for somebody to come aboard for the long haul. And you'll notice that at the live event that I was talking about earlier, where we have all of our million miles, 2 million, 3 million, 4 million mile earners. You'll notice that with our Driver of the Year awards and our Grand Champion, all of those have earned it, but they've really invested their time and their skills growth as well. And if you hop on any of our Facebook Lives, we recognize birthdays and anniversaries. And this week between this week and last week, we had like 20, I want to say at least 15 and 20 individuals who have, between both drivers and in-house employees who have over 22 years of experience here at Decker. Yep, when they give you a little history of Decker, bought out Untham back in 2002. And so when we bought them out, a lot of individuals came aboard, professional drivers. We had accounting and driver managers, and so 22 years is a big number, but we have a lot of them who have been here, and Decker has continued to take care of. So it's not, what I'm saying is it's not uncommon to see somebody with that kind of longevity. Now, we've got a couple of people this week who had 15, and I'm trying to remember off the top of my head some of the numbers. I might cheat. Give me a sec. I'm going to look. Yeah, Aaron Lennon, he's been here 18 years in the maintenance department, maintenance support there. And then, like I said, a lot of individuals, 22 years, because that's when we purchased. Martin Cody, 14 years next week. Sorry, he'll be here next week. It'll be 14 years. Lots of 5 years, 5 years, 5 years. We love the longevity, but our job is to take care of you. Like I said, when we're investing our time and energy in helping you grow and excel, we just ask that you invest your time as well. So yeah, anyways, you'll see that. What else for requirements? Of course, clean UAs. We have our clearinghouse that we go through. Actually, it's the DOT clearinghouse for the safe stat. So those records will come up, and we'll go through those. No drug or alcohol violations in 5 years. I'm trying to think of what else for qualifications. It's a question I get all the time, but yeah, if you're wondering if you have something specific that you're concerned with, ask the recruiter. Don't waste your time wondering. Just ask the recruiter, and we can just flat out say, yes, we can work with that. No, we can't. If it's something that we're just not sure of, then we'll check with safety. But if you lost control and you were hitting a moving vehicle or falling asleep, at the wheel or something like that, those are major moving violations. We can't work with those until they're 3 years old. So actually, in the last 5 years for that one. Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, that should answer your questions on qualifying factors. And then, of course, with benefits and everything, our benefits start after 60 days. It's a Blue Cross Blue Shield. It's an 80-20 plan. But our benefits start after 60 days. We have a 50% match on the 401k. Tomorrow, we will actually have a webinar. Tomorrow's Wednesday, right? Yeah, we will have a webinar put on by Regenix. Regenix is one of the new programs that we have available to our whole Decker family. And it's an alternative to occupational surgery. So, if you have not signed up for that or registered, and if you are currently an employee or driver here at Decker, check it out, because that could really answer some questions for you and hopefully be a saving grace for some of you. Obviously, the healing is a lot quicker because you're but you get to avoid the surgery than if you were actually having to take the surgery. So yeah, like I said, any orthopedic surgery, not any, but most orthopedic surgeries it can replace. And when I'm saying orthopedic, I mean like joints, your spine, your hips, your ankles, your knees, your shoulders and elbows and wrists. Did I already say that? But those are all areas that they can help to help heal without surgery. And the webinar is tomorrow at noon Central. So if it's something that you want to explore, go check it out. It'll answer a lot of questions, like what benefits are covered and what does it help and how is it different, and yeah, those details. All right. And then, of course, our equipment. We have newer model equipment. Average age is usually between 16 and 18 months. We don't have anything currently older than 2020, and the 2020s are, I'm not even sure. I think we might have a couple of them still there, but most of them are newer model. 579 Peterbilts are the majority of our trucks. Then we have some 740 Volvos in flatbed, 780, 860 Volvos in the refrigerated division. Again, the majority, and I mean huge majority, are the Peterbilts. So keep that in mind. We also have a few Cascadia Evolutions, so a few Freightliners as well. But most of them are the Petes. They are automatic. They are equipped with all kinds of goodies. So APUs, refrigerators, bunk heaters, inverters, microwave CB units, navigation. They're all equipped with Sirius Radio. You have to have the subscription, unlike our TVs where Decker holds a subscription for you. So you don't have to pay for the subscription unless you're an owner operator lease purchase. But yeah, as a company driver, that's all covered for you. They are double bunk trucks. It is a smart TV that's in the truck. So not only do we pay for the subscription, we have a TV provided. It's a 22-inch smart TV. Hopefully that'll answer some of your questions on that. But equipment-wise, it's sharp. It's good equipment. Yep. And if you have questions about it, if you haven't checked out our YouTube channel here, we do have quite a few videos on the equipment, so you can see the interior as well as the exterior, the sharp-looking trucks. And yeah, check those out. But again, if you want to speak to a recruiter about any of these positions that we've been talking about today, or get more details on the benefits, you can reach us at 877-433-2537. There you go. All right, you guys, I do appreciate your time today. We'll be seeing you here in the next couple of days, as well as we'll be doing a hiring event for our Midwest Flatbed Division. Looking forward to that. That'll be this Thursday. We'll get you more details on that for anybody that lives in the area. All right, have a wonderful rest of your week. Stay safe, stay warm, Dean. And again, 877-433-2537